Well, it's Pistol P, Mr. Loa, Smoking Lonjas in the house. We're coming through YouTube straight into your house, bringing out the gossip and the... Hey guys, welcome back to the P Street Podcast. Mr. Loa here.
Smoky Lonjas.
Councilman seat number 2.
That's right.
That's right. We got Hector Carrasco in the building. As you can see, we're here at the Cyclone. The new construction they have built actually in the center. If you haven't been here, come by. You know, there's a splash pad for kids. There's right now they're having Oktoberfest here. So hit up the Cyclone, man. Hit up the Cyclone. Come by.
Yeah, definitely. So what's new, Hector, man? What's going on?
Man,
Long time no see.
I don't even know where to start, brother. There's a lot going on. Since we're on the topic of the Cyclone right now, the Cyclone has lined up an active board that consists of people with different backgrounds who are ready to get involved and get this amazing complex off the ground. And what I mean by that is we created a group of people that are wanting to be engaged and involved, different backgrounds, from people with travel ball team connections, networking. We had people with business connections, people that worked at the previous Chamber of Commerce, business owners, people that were Little League presidents from back in the day and stuff like that. We recently, this last weekend, I helped advocate. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened with the CJ Memorial Field ribbon cutting.
Yeah, we saw that. That was
this
awesome.
past week. Yeah.
So we had pushed that, and the council backed me up on that. That was pretty cool. CJ was a really big monument for sports and youth, and he helped coach my son. And we had a really good connection. And unfortunately, we lost a pillar in the community. Yep. And I said, we got to do something for this guy, man.
Yeah.
His legacy lives on field number 2, as a matter of fact. So we had that this last weekend. And my condolences to the family once again, the Gomez's.
Yes.
We had our first Oktoberfest that weekend too, so that was pretty cool. We got Los Pescadores this weekend coming to Cyclone. That should be a really good event. But we just got out of a meeting with one of the biggest tournament directors in the region of USSSA. I always get confused, but he came down today. We showed him the complex, and this guy brings in about 75 teams of tournaments, which brings in about 4,000 to 5,000 people into a city. And that's through, he has those connections. So he came down here a while ago. We just wrapped up that meeting, and he was impressed with the field. And we wanted to, there's a lot going on. And of course, we got the Pecos Bills. They had a great season.
Yeah, they did.
We need to show more love to the Pecos Bills out
guys.
there, man. I mean, come on. We got our own little semi-pro team, and we need to see more butts in the seats out there. But as a Cyclone, to catch my breath, that's what we were kind of working on today, and amongst other things we like to talk about.
Oh, man. That's good, man.
Going back to the CJ. CJ used to play in our team, so that day we ended up retiring his jersey.
Right.
So we gave it to the family as well. So also the same for us. We're from Tentacion kickball team. Our condolences to the family.
Yes, exactly.
And like he was saying, talking about the Cyclone, it was a good turnout in the tournament. And then he said the Oktoberfest was pretty quite few people here. And then I actually got to meet the guys that USSS tournament they're trying to bring here in Pecos, and it looks like it's looking good, man. It's looking good.
Yeah, we're trying to line up the right people, right? And that's all. Everybody has a specialty in this community, and it encourages others to get involved. I mean, we're so used to living in a community where you have the same people on boards all the time, and a lot of people don't get involved. I mean, we got the Hot Tax Board, we got the Keep Pecos Beautiful Board, which has been doing an amazing job. Have you seen their murals that they painted around town? I don't know if you've seen that. They've done some cool things downtown as well. They benches, and I know I'm going to miss some things. They're going to get mad at me, but they got some self-watering plants. They're putting in some lights, and we're piggybacking ideas to one day. This is my, I know everybody's thought of this one, but lighting up the whole Maxi Park pine trees for Christmas.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Putting some electricity out there.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be
and
cool.
making it the destination. But the Cape Pecos Beautiful Board is doing a good job. There's a lot of boards in the community that you can do so much to get involved, but the Cyclone is one that a lot of people have a lot of, the sports people and people that want to see it flourish, man. We got a Taj Mahal in the middle of nowhere, and we need to get this place going. So I don't want to talk too much about the Cyclone because we got a lot of topics more to talk about.
Right.
But I'll let y'all ask questions, and then I'll just kind of ramble on.
Okay, here's one that Pistol Pete sent. He had a couple questions. He couldn't make it tonight, guys. What are the new changes or ideas you're wanting to bring to Pecos? And have you done new changes since you took over?
I hate to be that guy to say I, but I've advocated a lot. The first one I helped do was help raise the permits. Back in the day, we had a drilling permit. When a company would come in and they wanted to drill,
Right.
they would get an application for $4,000. And I'm like, man, we're giving away these things like candy.
Right.
So I did some research on different communities that also had prices on permits. And then I asked our team, I said, hey, how are we mirroring, or how are we charging these permits? And they're like, well, we're mirroring Midland. So I get on the phone with the oil and gas guy of Midland. I say, hey, man, how much you charge on permits? $4,000. And I said, how long has that been? When was the last time I got updated? Oh, in about the year 2000. I said, we in 2025.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Wow.
So I got real
I was
bold.
done high school.
So I got really bold, and I said, you know what, man, you want to cross the toll, you got to pay the tax. So I ended up making a motion, and I put it on the agenda to raise the permits to $20,000 an application. So we missed out on maybe $250,000 on some applications we had this year.
Right.
So some of those things were I know they're not really cool to talk about, and we'll get to the cool stuff here in a bit, but that was one of them. I don't know, you guys remember during my podcast when I was running for office, I'll talk about an engine brake ordinance, the Jake brake.
Yes, the J-brake. Yes,
That
right.
got passed.
Oh, they got passed.
Yeah, we got that passed with the support of the council as well.
What is it going to affect?
Well, I have to check back on that, but I know it got passed, and when it goes into effect, I hopefully this year.
Yeah.
We got to do the litigation part and the signs and putting up stuff and
Okay.
informing. I mean, I'm only this part. I might not know what I'm talking about, but I was assuming all the law enforcement agencies get on board and stuff like that. But it
Gotcha.
did get passed.
Right.
So now you're not going to hear the.
Windows
Even
vibrating.
the 20,000 it got passed. So when would it come to effect? Or is it already?
The Jake brake is the
No, I'm talking about the 20,000.
Oh, it's
for
already in
the-
effect.
it's already
So
effect.
anybody's coming in is going to have to pay $20,000 to
No,
drill an application.
Gotcha.
So, been doing that a lot. I kind of, when I got into council, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to get off subject here. Being a citizen and running for office and seeing things from the outside is different, and your viewpoints and your opinions, and some good or bad. But when you really get in the inside and you see it with your own eyes, you got to support each other in there. It's easy to critique and give everybody's, always talk bad about the city. Oh, they're not doing this, and that. And then you get in there and you see the inside struggles.
Gotcha.
And I've become more humble and more patient, and at the same time, more professional on my end. So, and the council, I know at one point, and I've apologized to all of them, and I say this openly. I told them, whatever I said in the past that I could have offended anybody during my campaign, I like to apologize, because I want to move forward in the right direction, and that's what this council is doing now, and other taxing entities are doing as well, because I'm not going to lie, and this is real talk. There's times where people do get offended, and it stops progress, and you have to ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for the bigger picture of the community?
Right.
And we still see that. And I'm the kind of person that I could get along with anybody, and if we get off on the wrong foot, I'll pull you behind after the meeting, say, hey man, can we talk about this? And I make them see it in a different perspective.
Right.
And that's kind of what I've helped going into council as well, is to let them know that we need to move in a direction that's gonna. This town, by the time I use this a lot, is first we were jogging, now we're sprinting, brother. So.
Gotcha.
What else? I'm pretty sure I've done some other things that I really can't think about. I've honestly, I'll tell you what my typical day looked like today. And I woke up at 7 a.m. I had breakfast with another taxing entity, and we discussed about partnering up on some projects. Some of the projects, he called me this morning and he said, hey man, what if we were to partner up and build a biking and walking trail together? Starting from Tolliver Street, where the rec center's at, going all the way to the Cyclone.
Gotcha.
And those are the kind of things, right? Then I had a meeting this morning with our grant writer, which we're going to Washington, D.C. It's EMC Group, Ernie and his team. They're writing a grant right now, which is helping us get our own RMA. And I'll talk more about that here in a bit. But our grant writer is finding ways for the city of Pecos to bring in revenue. So right now, the way we make money is through property taxes and sales tax. And then, of course, some of the royalties with the oil field. And a lot of people think we own all these royalties, which is not really true. But, we need to find other revenues when the oil and gas dies down. So we were working with a grant writer today. And, of course, I had a meeting here with the Cyclone with the tournament director out of Midland. We had a wine and dine them, show them our products. So I've been at it since 7 a.m. And my wife gives me a hard time, says, you got a business to run on top of that. But it's just that passion, man, being in a position to where time flies, brother. And what I mean by that, and I'm going on, but I've been here 4.5 months. So, I now have 3.5 years left on my term. So we're moving, we're calling people. I'm on the phone. I'm meeting with different types of entities. I'm meeting with our Economic Development Board. But let me take a break, and then we'll get more into that. I'll answer another question for you.
Okay. Smokey.
No, so I see that you guys are building something on Tolliver Street. Are there going to be houses, or that's where the plant's going to be?
There's a plant that this is more of an economic development question, and I'm going to go based upon some of their notes that they have here right now. So Pecos is in the process of partnering up with Aperian Energy Group, and they purchased 25 acres of land to build a natural gas conversion plant to electricity. So on their end, they're going to be bringing up to 180 to 430 jobs during the construction phase. And this is going to support 20 plus permanent jobs in the future for people of Pecos here operational. We've been pushing them that they need to hire locals. We push it and we grind it. And I'm that kind of guy that I'm like, hey man, you better take care of the ones that are here, right? Boots on the ground. And that means local businesses as well, any business, any type. So that's going to bring in that. And at the same token, they're going to be building 30 new homes as part of their pilot program, which is the tax abatement that we gave them. So they'll be building 30 new homes. So it's going to boost the local business, reduce a lot of the environment impact, and it's going to grow our industry. They're also building another phase as well. So there's going to be we have the Hidden Heroes Housing Project, which is bringing in 4 phases of new houses of Pecos, especially local tax entities, city, the county, the hospital, emergency management. I'm going fast here because I know the last podcast I had to speed it up.
I know, man. There's so much.
So this is going to be located on 8-acre tract land starting at the corner of Stafford and Moore Street. And that's going to build a couple of homes as well for our emergency responders, and we can get better quality people moving to Pecos. And then they did the revising Lincoln Street expansion project to transform that for business corridors and make it more vibrant and stuff like that. And the Infinium Project Roadrunner, which I'm wearing my hat today, is a California-based company recruited to the area that's going to also build a plant. They're going to capture renewable energy, and they use these for airplanes.
Oh, wow.
That's going to bring in some more work as well. You're looking at 40-plus jobs as well. And I'm going to scroll through these, brother. And I know, guys know we have a local attorney called Hector Peña. He's bringing a plaza over there by the Allsups on 285. Have y'all seen the clearing of land? He's going to build a mini plaza there that's going to give local businesses the opportunity to rent out spaces, kind of like the plaza you see in front of United where Wingstop is at, and kind of stuff like that. Yeah. So I kind of give them a hard time. I said, man, you better put a pop to that thing, make it look nice so we can have some farmers markets in there and Christmas bazaars and et cetera. So, stuff like that is coming into on the EDC side and many more. And that's just the Economic Development Corporation, which Jimmy Dutchover and his staff are doing a great job, brother.
Hey, with the Roadrunner company you're talking about, how do they do that? How are they gonna get that energy back? Are they putting like solar windmills or what?
No, it's crazy. It's actually a technology that I can't speak too much about it, but it's like kind of a peel form that they throw. And this is where I might not know what I'm talking about, but the way they explain it is they have some kind of peel that they throw in there, like a little pill.
Yeah.
And it just turns it to certain energy.
Oh, wow.
So now they're selling the fuel. It's a renewable energy CO2. It's going to produce about 7.6 million gallons annually. It's a clean synthetic fuel, though.
Okay.
So, me, I'm always asking, hey, man, how's this going to affect the environment
right.
and the people in the surrounding areas? And that's going to be more outside between Toya and Pecos.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the exact exit, and Jimmy's going to get mad at me for this, but on top of all that, that's what they've been moving. They're trying to find ways, innovative solutions on how to bring jobs back to Pecos instead of us relying on the oil field.
Right.
We go through seasons.
Yes.
And I'm going to also get off subject here too. Pushing data centers. Abilene just built one of the biggest data centers, brother.
Oh yeah, man.
That's one of the questions.
Oh, that's one of the questions.
Yeah.
We need to have that advocate, and we also need to have those people with the right connections advocating to bring those businesses to our region so that we can be that. And I'll give you another example before I forget, and I'm going to go off subject on some of these things because they're coming to my mind as I speak, but we have a meeting with the Rocket Space Program out of Midland that's going to start launching rockets out of Reeves County, out in the Balmorhea area.
Cool.
So that's something, too, that's going to kind of put this town on the map, and people are going to be migrating over here to see that launch of the rocket.
Oh, yeah, man. That's pretty cool, bro.
Yeah, so
I know they have the one, what's
Van Horn.
Yeah, Van Horn, right?
Blue Origin.
Yeah.
Blue Origin. So this one's going to be Midland Space Center got a grant, and they chose Reeves County. And, that itself, it's just
pretty exciting.
It's exciting, and I also want to incorporate a lot of things based upon, I'm the kind of councilman, when I'm in these meetings, I'm developing relationships. I'm the one talking, having lunches, and saying, you know what, man, my first question is always what community involvement are you going to be involved in? Because we're trying to build a lot of projects that we're moving forward, which we'll talk about here in the future. Some are going to be different projects based upon the input of every council member, of course, right? So I always ask, what's your community involvement? You know, what are you planning to do for us? You know, you're here for a reason. We have the land, we have the resources. There's a lot of open space here. So that's why a lot of people want to migrate here, because we have a lot of open space.
Yeah, you can build.
And we're business friendly too.
So those data centers that you're talking about being, if it ever gets approved and get built here, does it help like to provide cheap gas and electricity?
These data centers, if I'm correct, are more into the AI technology.
AI robots, bro.
AI
Microchips.
technology data centers. That's going to create more jobs and more people wanting to live here, brother. And these are going to be some good paying jobs.
Before you know, we're going to have flying cars.
Pretty soon the AI will be able to give my whole
Pecos,
speech.
Man. Yeah.
I won't be here.
Nah, that's cool, man. So you were also talking about the water park, right? It was going to be south of here or north?
Yeah, so the Reeves County is doing an indoor water park, which is going to include a hotel and a convention center. The expansion of the golf course and soon to be construction miniature golf, which they already approved. I don't know if you guys keep up with the newspaper, but they're proposing a miniature golf. They got their I don't know how much money it is. Always put the 60, but it's a $60 million water park, indoor and outdoor with lazy rivers, and that's something that the county is already moving forward on.
Wow!
And also they're also proposing to build a veterans museum, a really nice veterans museum. So we're in negotiations right now with selling some of our green space at the Maxi Park is where they want to put it off the interstate.
Okay.
And then we want to build around it as a city council.
Wow, man.
I always tell them, how can we build a nice place and not build around it, right?
Right.
So that's when we have to be accountable on our end to build around that. So, you know, it's like building a brand new $1 million, multi-million mansion, and it, you know, somewhere in the side of town where it's just dilapidated buildings and stuff, right? So we're going to start cleaning up our act too, to where we're going to build around it. And I'm going to give you some ideas. Can I get off subject? We got to go.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah, we got time.
So, for example, the museum, I say, you know, we need to knock down where the Rocket Park is at. I propose to the council knock down the Rocket Park and expand it more of a modernized Rocket Park, but it get the Midland Rocket program involved to have their sponsorship on there, and then Blue Origin have their sponsorship on there, and then knock down the park next to it and expand a multi-facility park like Dennis and Minnesota Midland. And then we would knock down the other baseball field, and we would incorporate some kind of outdoor pickleball and volleyball courts with the volleyball courts, because we have about 20 plus travel volleyball teams. Right. And if you've been at the rec at 5 p.m., it's crazy. They're all sharing a court, and it smells like sweat, and every basketball is going on, right? So we were to build an outdoor volleyball with the pickleball. With a pickleball, and then you incorporate some kind of spongy tile. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's the one that they use at Thea's Park, that new basketball court. Yeah. Then we were also, that would be that. We'd have the museum. We incorporate the walking trails. We did talk about expansions of phase 2 of the splash pad, where the splash pad's at now. Right. Possibly a swimming pool somewhere in the middle if possible. We're still kind of brainstorming that. The basketball courts that we already have, knocking those down and making them look nicer like the Thea's Park ones, but with cut shades. I mean, you know, chess and the park. I mean, all this is just in the making right now. And since we're on that subject here really quick, before I forget, we do have a project. I don't know if you guys are aware of the Mary Carmen Wood. She's actually our assistant communities director, and she and her team, including Holly and them, have put a concept A and a concept B for the Bessie Haynes Park. Did y'all get a chance to see that on social media?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so this is the intent. This park we're going to be building is at Bessie Haynes, and it's on our Facebook page and also on our website, is we're gathering input from the community. And the community, man, I'm going to be honest with you, they're more of the social media instead of the physical presence. Right. So we put these things on to get public feedback, but half the time they never show up, brother. So we have to kind of put it on Facebook. But right now they're still taking some online surveys, and you could find that on Facebook. And there's 2 types of park phases that were designed for Bessie Haynes Park. And it's a pretty cool concept. I won't get too much into it because you got to visually see it. But if you go to the Facebook, you'll see Master Plan A and B. And they're gathering input from the citizens right now so we can kind of move on this project, man. Pretty cool.
Okay.
And I have it right here. And next time, I swear, I'm going to have it all on the TV so people can see it.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah. Or even tag us and go check out P3 Podcast and the pages.
Yeah, because if you have it, you can send it to him, and he can like blend it in as you're talking. Yeah. He can show it. So
and I'll show it to him after the podcast.
I mean, we can see it here, right? We can see it, but like if you send it to him, he can put it.
I can paste it
as we're talking right now.
I can paste it.
So we're
over
moving
us.
forward with these kind of plans. I mean, like I said, this is a council on the move,
Right.
and this is where. Do we need to take another question? Because I want to bring up something as well.
No.
Well, no, I wanted to ask about the pool, right? So you mentioned the pool. I would like the idea for the pool to be built next to the splash pad. The reason why, because if they're gonna make it inside the hotel, are they gonna the people who live here in Pecos? Do they have to? It wouldn't be fair for them to rent a room so they can go inside the pool, or do I get any type of discount?
So they are talking about discounts. So it's not going to be the water park is going to be like there's this place you can actually Google. It's in Grand Prairie. I don't know the name off the top of my head,
Yeah,
but
that Wolf Lodge.
no, it's in Grand Prairie, Texas. It's like an outdoor water park that the city created, and we could probably
Yes.
Google it here in a bit.
Yes.
But it's going to be something like that where they might be charging 25 or 30. I mean, I know when I went over there, Grand
That's not
Prairie, they were charging 25 or 30. But you also got to take care of your locals, right?
Right.
So this is more to draw tourism, but also we got to find a way to take care of our locals to build a local pool. And a lot of feedback that I have been receiving has been to let it be across the street from the Maxi Park, from the splash pad, because it makes more sense. So I know the county right now, I did talk to one of the commissioners that he is going to be building a pool as well. So the county is going to be taking on a pool as well. And this is a growing town, man. So it's easy to say, oh, we just win one pool. No, you need maybe 2 or 3 the max. But, once because we're in different sides of towns. You got the east and the west side, and some people might want one closer. We want to find a centralized hub too. So that's been in negotiations of maybe putting it by the Pecos Elementary and negotiate with the school to lease that land and build it centralized hub, or we could just put it at the Maxi Park. But the water park is going to be for out-of-towners, visitors, and of course locals. And I'm sure Leo Hung and the rest of the commissioners will consider, locals giving them
season passes.
They usually give them season passes. To
Yeah,
locals.
season passes.
I've been somewhere they did ask me, "Are you a Grand Prairie resident?" I was like, "No." I had to pay more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're out of town.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's
I've
good.
been to the Grand Prairie one too, and it's just the first thing they ask, "Are you a Grand Prairie?" And I say like, "No, okay, you got to pay more. You pay
Yeah,
more."
because you're out of town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
but this is a hotel,
Wow,
so it's
man.
kind of like Kalahari.
Gotcha.
You got in Kalahari when we went. We told them we live in New Braunfels, and we just went and we just wanted to swim. We didn't
Yeah,
wanna-
but the
we
way
didn't
it
wanna
seems,
stay.
like
It's called
Pecos.
Epic. Sorry to cut you off. Epic Waters Indoor Water Park.
Oh, okay.
Kind of the same concept, somewhat similar.
Right. Man, but like I was saying, I guess seems like Pecos is getting a major facelift, man. There's a lot of great things coming to
Told you,
Pecos,
man, I
man.
wasn't gonna sit around, brother. You think?
Yeah. But
Shit.
man, if the
Ya
people
me hice más
wondering,
viejo a little bit being in office for 4 months.
if you
but-
guys had any doubts, man, now you know that things are happening and they're coming, man.
Yeah, and
That's
that
awesome.
Wouldn't happen,
What a
honestly,
time to be in
brother,
Pecos
That
right
wouldn't
now.
happen with the support of everybody on board.
Yeah.
So now-
everybody's got to be on board.
So now do you have any more projects or ideas that you think like, hey, I want to bring more?
There are some that I would like to see in fruition, including donating one of my private buildings of bringing a community theater downtown. If you get a chance to Google, and I wish I would have had my notes ready for this one, it just came to mind, but in Fort Stockton, they have a small community theater, and it costs about $2.1 million to make. And I like to see something like that in Pecos where we can have our own community theater. It's kind of our mini Wagner Noel in a way.
Oh, I got you, yeah.
To where we can bring in, local
Comedy
comedy,
comedians.
comics, and stuff like that. So that's something that
cool.
I'd be willing to donate or sell my land to just for the community. That would be really cool downtown. I have right in front of City Hall, I own the old dentist building, which is a brown
Right.
building. And right now we did push an application off subject for a district. We're trying to pass a district theater, or like a theater district in Pecos.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps a lot of the funding and grants in the future. So we start developing downtown. Now, I think, I don't want to speak out of context of this, but I think the application didn't pass it wasn't a big issue, but it was something that probably wasn't put in time. But we're going to keep pushing for a venue. It's going to be like an outdoor, it's called a theater district venue or something, a district venue.
Oh, okay,
Right?
like
So that's going to help revitalize downtown.
so
'cause-
that's what I was gonna ask you because I know movie theater. I know people watch Netflix at home, but to get to actually I know I drive out of town and go all the way to Odessa to watch
Right.
movies, the new ones anyways, and the ones you can't see on Netflix and all that. But is there anything gonna be done to the old movie theater downtown in Pecos? I know they started fixing it,
there's
but
been talks about it with the county. I've had a conversation with the judge that he wants to bring in Our county judge, Leo Hung, wants to bring in some kind of entertainment center that he's looking into. I can't say he's going to do it or not,
Right.
but it's something that he has mentioned at one point. He wanted to bring in a Pecos, like a bowling alley.
Right,
and
right.
maybe
That's what I was
incorporate
thinking.
that. So
I was thinking, I don't know why over there by the Civic Center, all that parking lot do like a drive-in movie theater, man. You know, people
Right.
passing by Pecos see that big screen. Oh, look, they have a drive-in movie theater. You know,
Right.
going to Monahans, going to Odessa.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, man.
And that would too fall in a private investor, like an investor to do that kind of thing.
Right.
But one thing that I did kind of show a presentation to council, we were just brainstorming. We had a workshop last week with the county commissioners, and we kind of basically put it out to like who wants to do what.
Right.
And I'm like, this is what, we could do here, here, and here. And what would you guys be willing to do, or what are you willing to contribute? Like I'm straightforward, man. I get
Yeah.
to the damn point.
Right.
Like, okay, example would be an outdoor pavilion.
Right.
So in Austin, Texas, I'm not comparing Austin to Pecos, but smaller towns have these outdoor pavilions. They have farmer markets, they have movie nights, they have stuff like that.
Right.
So you can incorporate a mini amphitheater. And there's one actually in Fort Davis, real small. If you go to the Fort Davis State Park, there's one out there. But some of the concept like that, I know we're
Right.
thinking bigger, but you could be surprised what we could do with something smaller outdoor in the park,
Right.
and then build like concepts around it where you can now also have live music and a stage, right?
Yeah.
So something like that.
You didn't think it would be good to do an amphitheater right here at Cyclone?
It could be possible.
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
it could.
Yeah.
That too.
I mean, that will be.
Anything's possible, brother.
Yeah,
Especially
you
with
have-
the
you have
water
that
park
room.
across
Yeah,
the street.
entertainment,
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
music. You're doing it. The Pescadores, right? Going to be here this weekend?
Yeah, the pescadores will be right there in the amphitheater, brother.
Gee.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
But one thing I did want to talk about this November election. I told the council when I first got in, I said, "Man, y'all doing all this work for $40, man, and a free meal." And everybody's like, nobody wants to rub nobody wrong, bro. And I'm like, look, man, people don't see all the work that goes behind this. And I'm talking about phone calls, text messages, people blowing up my phone, me being in meetings. And it gets to the point where it gets overwhelming sometimes. Like I'm still in my clothes that I've been in all morning because I'm actually trying to see what the board wants to do moving forward for Pecos and what are we going to do here, what are we going to do there. And, we're getting so we ended up passing to put it on the ballot. So we had to get it passed, and everybody, Van Horn, let me give you an example. Van Horn is a population of 1,300, brother.
Right.
And they're making almost $15,000, their council members.
Okay.
I mean, no disrespect towards Van Horn. I mean, Van Horn's
Right.
doing, really quick, I'm going to give them some love. Van Horn is doing some cool projects too. They're building mini amphitheaters. I'm going to show you some of that. I was out there 2 weeks ago, and they passed a bond where they're building a lazy river in Van Horn, mini amphitheaters.
Wow.
All kinds of cool stuff, right? And I did make a comment to one of the school board, if y'all do watch the council meetings, and all I said is, and I took the heat, I said, when is the school board in the hospital going to get involved in the quality of life? What I meant by that was the amenities to provide us, the taxpayers. And they came off and said, well, we built these brand new schools. I get that, man. We paid for it. We're the taxpayers, by the way.
Right.
So the guy that came off at me, I don't even think he owns a house, brother. So he wouldn't know anything about being a taxpayer. But the guy that came after me was like, blah, 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 blah. And he's been here 5 years. I own a lot of property. I'm a taxpayer. So I, too, want amenities that at the end of the day I can go for a walk. I can go do something with my little kids. It doesn't always have to be, okay, we built these. I mean, the schools are freaking amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the school, they're doing a great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look
Our
nice.
superintendent is doing a great job.
It
bro.
looks like they're building the
whole-
school around the stadium.
Damn right.
It looks
State of the
so
art.
cool. Yeah, it looks
So
cool.
maybe I rubbed them wrong, but it was like, look,
Yeah, it
I'm
looks
talking
cool.
about amenities within the guidelines. The hospital, I mean, they can't build a walking trail. I've seen other cities walking trails around hospitals, right? So I asked some of the hard questions that sometimes do piss off people. And I'm learning to, just kind of work with them, brother, because I don't
Right.
want to cause no tension down the road to where now they're not going to want to work with me no more. Right? And that's how problems start in Pecos. It's always, he said something that offended me. I'm never going to work for him. But then you realize, look, are you here for you and your feelings, or are you here to what's best for the community? And
Yes.
being in politics, it's hard, man.
It's hard.
Because you're going to get a lot of criticism and a lot of people talk bad about you, assumptions and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, if I were to take any of that personal and I don't want to make progress with you no more because we bumped heads and you're a commissioner and I'm a council, and
Right.
you're going to, now what are you doing in that seat? You're impeding progress.
Yes.
Right. So going back to the thing of the pay raise, I pushed it because the council, they haven't amended their charter in 25 years. So those are prices from 25 years ago. You now have a council on the move. So this ain't your average council. So with that, paying a council member, they're now accountable to do a job,
Right.
because they're now getting some kind of compensation. At the same time, you're attracting more qualified applicants in the future. The new generation coming around, they don't want to, man, I ain't going to do that for $40. You know the attitude they have now, brother.
Right.
But if you give them a decent pay, get paid what you're worthy of your wages, now you're holding them accountable to get a different pool of selection from small business owners to different backgrounds to say, hey, man, I like to do that job.
Exactly.
So I propose $12,500 for council a year, including free insurance, and $15,000 for the mayor, because she's more out there, advocating and showing her face at different events. And for them to be in all these meetings and events for $40, man, it's really, to me, I'm like, man, we could do better.
Right.
Yeah.
We spend all this money on contractors and paying all these other people $500,000, but we don't invest in ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
True.
Go ahead. Another question, please. Are we out of questions?
Yeah, we ran out of question. Actually,
Well, that's good, man.
You know what? The 9 Pecos, man. Remember I was
Yes.
talking to you earlier.
Yes.
People were asking why
it back.
they
Bring
want
it
it
back.
back.
Bring
They
it
want it back.
Yeah.
bring it back. And we don't want to hear complaints, man. All the people who has their restaurants there. I'm tired of
The
complaints.
Night in Pecos has always been a tradition since we
Right.
were a kid. It's kind of like the 16th of September fiestas, right? And that was sponsored by hot tax money given to the Chamber of Commerce to put it on.
Gotcha.
Well, as y'all know, we don't have a Chamber of Commerce. Now, that was before I got a council. There were some differences there, and we parted. I don't know, it kind of just disintegrated. So what we did is we hired a new CVB director, and her primary goal right now is to promote tourism, marketing, promotion, community engagement, strategic development. So she's, I don't want to, Savannah Woodward. And I want her, we got her out here in our meeting yesterday and said, you got to start promoting. I mean, pretty soon we can start making our Night in Pecos. It could be the Cyclone or it could be downtown. We'll just keep it traditional. But
Right.
I think we need to get back to it. And that starts to restructuring the chamber. It needed to be restructured.
Right.
And me as a business owner, man, at one point when I was a constituent, I used to say, man, they don't throw my business out there. I mean, we all know, I own an axe throwing facility and also do oil and gas gate guarding, security. And I felt like for any businesses coming into the town,
Right.
that we're building, you already know, man, I could name all the local businesses off the top of my head.
Right.
You want to know who does plumbing? I'll tell you. You know who does electrical?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. And that's where we would say, why are y'all not promoting our businesses? We're paying you all these fees, and yet nobody even knows, hey, man, there's a guy who does security here for all these plants. So I didn't know that. How do you not know who your members are, man? So there was a lot of challenges that were being faced here, and I think I'm going to have a lot of input restructuring this should it get back to that point. But don't get discouraged. We're going to have more things, and we're going to have more things to do in Pecos besides the Night in Pecos, and we'll try to make it better.
But you are trying to bring Night of Pecos back.
We've been getting a lot of feedback from that.
That's good.
So I can't answer. I don't want to sound like a politician
definitely
dodging
is.
the question, but I'm going to be realistic. We got a lot of irons in the fire right now, man, and that is one of them. And after a hard day's long work, I know a lot of people don't want to hear about all these gas plants being built and this and that. They want the basic stuff. They want to have fun. They want the Night in Pecos. They want the parks. They want the pool. They want the walking trails. They want a quality of life. And
Something
I've
to
been pushing
do,
that,
man. Like something to do. Instead of going out of town and go,
Of course.
have fun, just do it here.
Yeah, and
Keep the money here.
Yeah, keep the money flow here, man.
And that's what I'm a big advocate for. So I know I rubbed a lot of people wrong when I would say, when are you going to get involved? But we all need to get involved, man. And we're taxpayers. We're the ones building all this stuff. And they need to remember that. We're the ones building the schools. We're the ones building the hospitals. We're the ones paying for all that stuff. And we deserve to be compensated in a way of a quality of life. And I'm pushing that, and we are breaking ground.
That's good. Well, there you go,
have more
guys.
stuff to
You
share.
guys got
Let
your
us know.
answer.
Let us know. You have more times to share.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I hope I didn't leave a lot of stuff out, but I really mean this when I say that. When I first went into council, man, I used to see it, you see it from a different perspective now being in there, right? You got to work with all the entities. I be honest, I did bash a couple of people like, code enforcement and stuff like that. And it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge finding the right people here and the right directors because, and I'm going to be honest, Pecos ain't for everybody. Pecos is not for everybody. People usually come here, they make their money, within 3 years they leave. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to recruit better people in the future that are here for the long run and willing to put in the work. I mean, anybody that is unemployed in Pecos, that's a personal problem because there's a lot of work here.
There's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work. So what we're trying to do right now is to audit, some of the challenges, and I know this sounds like a BS answer, but we're trying to audit some of the challenges that different departments were having. And when I was a citizen, I didn't see those challenges because I wasn't internally there, and I wasn't there to understand permits. I wasn't there to understand code enforcement and the process, how it works, and the software and the people that quit and who's not trained to give out tickets and stuff like that. So it's easy to always bash that, but it's a process. And what I mean by that is how many tickets did we write? Are they certified to write tickets? And what is the next step? I did get during my campaign a lot of people coming to me and say this town's dirty and we need to clean it, and that's something that we have pushed as a council. As a matter of fact, this council meeting we got a code enforcement report, which is the first that we've gotten in a while through the software, not for the director not giving us one, but through the software. We have a software that we incorporated now that it's kind of an accountability software. You can report some violations, and then some violations are done, and then it also now has accountability if it was mitigated or how many days did it take to fix. So we're seeing all that now, and I'm asking those questions. And then I know okay, let me start all over. So we allocated our budget about $200,000 for demoing of buildings. So we're going to start demoing some old dilapidated structures. And the first one I said, you got to get the one on Zavala, right in front of the Zavala school. It doesn't look good. Right, so that we're moving forward with that, and also building the connections going back to these companies that are coming into town. I'm like, you want to cross the toll? My favorite line: you got to pay the tax. Gotcha. So in order for us to build all these multi-million-dollar facilities, we need to get this town looking good. Right. You can't build these beautiful water parks and people coming in on all the inlets of town and it looks like crap. So that's something that we've been pushing as council as well. Is like we need to get our act cleaned up real quick. Right. And it's weird, man, because one day you're used to people say, well, you're used to Pecos being like that. And then maybe a year later, things can change, right? And that's why I say we're moving pretty fast. And I tell the council, I said, for all the work that we put in, man, we need to be paid more for this, man. Right. And we need to take a risk on ourselves. And at the end of the day, if the voters vote yes and they vote no, no biggie. But at least we put it out there. Right. Yeah. I'm not afraid of the repercussions.
Yeah, more responsibilities, man. It has to come with some kind of benefit.
Before we close this, tell us.
Wait, is it already that time to close?
Man, it's almost getting there. We got like
how
4
much
minutes.
Time we got left?
We have 4 minutes, but I got to ask you this question. Before we close this, the feeling when you say, hey, I won. Hey, and now I'm about to walk in the office. Were you in there nervous or were you like excited? Like, hey, let me find out what's going on here.
I'm going to quote.
You walk in like Steve Austin?
Man, I'm going to quote one of the commissioners. And this made my day. I'm going to put him on blast.
We always have to end up with
Paul
something.
Hinojo says, Hector, I doubted you, bro. You came in there like a prize fighter, bro, ready to fight, bro. You were already throwing chingazos when you got in there, bro. Who isn't nervous, right? Oh, yeah. And one thing when I did walk in, I did give them a hard time because I thought I could have had a better orientation onboarding process. But man, I've been studying, brother. I bought books on Amazon on how to be a better council member. I researched past council meetings, and all of that is time and getting engaged, man. What I mean by that, and I'm not saying councils they're not engaged, but I had to get engaged quick because I got thrown out there on all kinds of projects. But man, you never would have known. I prayed about it, and within the next council meeting, Paul's like, man, you look like a damn prize fighter. He calls me Mighty Mouse, bro, because he says I'm everywhere, bro. I'm at the Cyclone, I'm here, I'm over there, I'm over there, but you know what, brother? I felt like this is natural to me. It really is. And being a people's person and hearing the concerns of the community and acting on them, keyword acting on them. Yes. Brother, let me give you an example really quick. We talk about these trash cans. Right, yeah. I had a guy that came to council for 3 months, can't even walk, could barely even make it to City Hall, and he was complaining about a trash can. I'm like, hey, man, can we just give the guy an extra trash can because he happens to live near a man camp? And what's the big deal with just putting an extra trash can? I don't care, but he gets mad at me. Well, he gets one. I want one too. We're working on all that. I promise. Right. Ms. Moore, Commissioner Moore, just allocated $200,000 for trash cans in her precinct, which is really nice of her and really cool. So, but man, getting in there, I was ready to go, brother. It was my moment. After 3 failed elections, I said, this is my time. Yeah. And they've taken me in very well, and I'm grateful for that. The council's taken me in very well. We all support each other, so I didn't feel like an outsider.
That's good.
It was cool, man. That's a good question, though.
Yeah. You want to ask anything?
And I don't even sleep at night, man. I got more ideas. We're drafting out. We're going to Washington really quick. We're going to advocate. There's something that we forgot to talk about. So it's called the RMA, a Regional Mobility Authority, which means we basically create our own text dot. I'm going to dumb it down really quick. I might miss out some details. Instead of waiting on text dot to fix Devil's Highway, which we call 285, we are now creating our own text dot. Oh, wow. Reeves County's text dot. So there's a lot of connections and a lot of moving pieces there that we're not waiting on, 10 years for the loop. We're moving fast. So there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
I'm sure I missed out that most people are like,
We can come back again.
Yeah, we'll come back,
Back again,
man.
yeah.
But just watch the council meetings. If you really want to get engaged, go to YouTube and watch it.
Yeah.
Some of them are boring. The agenda's online and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Well, man, I wish we could keep going. Like I said, I always had to throw that. I had to throw him that curveball there because I really thought he came in there. Hey.
I'm still the same person.
Listen here.
Before we leave, I am still the same person I was before I won for city council. Now, I'm just in a position to be able to get the support behind me and make some things happen for Pecos,
Yeah.
which it is time. It is time. You hear me, the rest of the entities? It is time we start moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Forget the feelings, forget
yes.
the hurt feelings. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get Pecos moving forward, man.
Yeah.
If
There's
you don't
a-
want to move forward, step aside.
Hey, and
There
there's
you go.
one more thing. There's another election coming up this next year, right? Or this year for the next one, councils?
I haven't looked into that, brother.
I think I did. Okay,
I
so I
have
think
to-
they might come next year.
I don't know whose term is
And
up.
whoever's terms are up, don't be afraid to run. We wait right here.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, I also like to give a shout out to the Pecos Eagles defeating Monahans, man. Homecoming.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes,
That's what's up, man.
Congratulations,
The
Pecos,
Eagles too, man.
Awesome. That was
Changing
awesome.
it around 4-1, right?
They haven't beat. Actually, they haven't beat Monahans in homecoming
In
since-
Pecos.
since we were there.
Since we were there,
Since
man. So
2002.
I'm glad they did it, man.
2002. Yeah, so I'm really
shout out
happy
to them.
that you guys beat them. Yeah, I know y'all have beat Monahans before, right?
In
In regular
Monahans.
season in Monahans, but to say a homecoming game, it was the
yeah.
last time. it
Pecos
was when
homecoming,
we
that's
were-
what
when
That's
we were
right,
there.
baby.
That's what's up.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it
a good
was.
victory.
It
Y'all
was.
keep up the work, guys, and you're
Yeah.
always welcome
Coaches as well, keep up the good work.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Keep
Also,
working
stay
on the
tuned.
kids.
We're probably gonna have planning a Halloween party. Peach
Yes,
Street.
yes,
So,
yes. Peach Street Podcast
Stay
is going
tuned
to
for that.
throw a Halloween party. So far, it looks it's going to be La Tejana. We're trying to organize it. We're going to put it on the Peach Street Podcast. We're
Yeah,
going to let it
what
know
is
out
time?
here. We're probably going to put some flyers here at Cyclone if we're allowed. But like I said, we're going to throw a Peach Street Podcast
Yeah.
for Halloween. Dress up. There's going to be prices, man.
Yeah.
Money, you name it. We're gonna try to get sponsors here and there.
all right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and see you guys on the next one, man. Mr. Loa signing out.
Smoky Lonjas.
Hector Carrasco, seat number 2, número 2.
It's all. Peace.